There exists a God in the heavens who is a revealer of secrets, and he has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what is to occur in the final part of the days. Your dream and the visions of your head upon your bed. This it is. You, O king, happen to be beholding, and look, a certain immense image. That image, which was large, and the brightness of which was extraordinary, was standing in front of you, and its appearance was dreadful. As regards that image, its head was of good gold, its breasts and its arms were of silver, its belly and its thighs were of copper, its legs were of iron, its feet were partly of iron and partly of molded clay. You kept on looking until a stone was cut out, not by hands, and it struck the image on its feet of iron and of molded clay, and crushed them. At that time the iron, the molded clay, the copper, the silver, and the gold were altogether crushed, and became like the chaff from the summer threshing floor, and the wind carried them away, so that no trace at all was found of them. And as for the stone that struck the image, it became a large mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and its interpretation we shall say before the king. You, O king, the King of kings, you to whom the God of heaven has given the kingdom, the might, and the strength and the dignity, and into whose hand he has given, wherever the sons of mankind are dwelling, the beasts of the field and the winged creatures of the heavens, and whom he has made ruler over all of them, you yourself are the head of gold. And after you there will rise another kingdom inferior to you, and another kingdom, a third one of copper, that will rule over the whole earth. And as for the fourth kingdom, it will prove to be strong, like iron. For as much as iron is crushing and grinding everything else, so, like iron that shatters, it will crush and shatter even all these. And whereas you beheld the feet and the toes to be partly of molded clay of a potter and partly of iron, the kingdom itself will prove to be divided, but somewhat of the hardness of iron will prove to be in it, for as much as you beheld the iron mixed with moist clay. And as for the toes of the feet being partly of iron and partly of molded clay, the kingdom will partly prove to be strong, and will partly prove to be fragile. Whereas you beheld iron mixed with moist clay, they will come to be mixed with the offspring of mankind. They will not prove to be sticking together, this one to that one, just as iron is not mixing with molded clay. And in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be brought to ruin. And the kingdom itself will not be passed on to any other people. It will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms, and it itself will stand to times indefinite.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. A world where the strong respect the rights of the weak.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be. We have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. And now we can see a new world coming into view.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again. And the institutions that rule worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened, and some have to be changed. So we have to do what we do best. We have to lead. We have to lead.
For as much as you beheld that out of the mountain a stone was cut, not by hands, and that it crushed the iron, the copper, the molded clay, the silver, and the gold, the grand God himself has made known to the king what is to occur after this. And the dream is reliable, and the interpretation of it is trustworthy.
A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders.
I believe that peace is the only path to true security. You have the opportunity to be the generation that permanently secures the Zionist dream.
Let's read our Bibles now. Folks haven't been reading their Bible.